this will be a little bit more of a serious one. Reptile abuse is wrong. Animal abuse of any kind is wrong, and if you are convicted and truthfully an animal abuser, you shouldn't be allowed to keep animals anymore. Unfortunately, that's not how the legal system works in some US states apparently, and if you have an idea of what this is about, I do have problems mentioning business names. I don't like to take money away from people because I have a little bit of an influence and an audience, and I can make people think a certain way or adopt my opinion. So that's why you never hear me say a business name, but Slithers is who I'm talking about, and they deserve to get shut down. How disgusting. But I don't want to make this whole video about what you've probably already seen on the Facebook groups. I love how it's a serious video and then there's this going on. Diamond, let's be professionals. This whole video isn't going to be about Slithers and Pruitt, whatever his name is, and Cascabel, Cable, whatever her name is. However, this isn't just that. This is about reptile abuse in total. I mean, there's more than just these people who are animal abusers, which is terrible, but it's not just that. And I think that every little bit of animal abuse might start out with a mistake. But when does a mistake turn into clear neglect and clear abuse? When is it no longer a mistake, you know you're wrong and you don't do anything about it? When does that happen? And how does that happen? Could it happen to you? That's what we're gonna talk about. So how does this happen, okay? I can't say for specifics for each individual case, right? And there are other animal abusers out there who have followings, who have YouTube channels, and I'm not gonna say their name because I haven't seen actual proof. I mean, it's obvious in some cases, or you hear people talk about it, but I haven't been to the facility, or I haven't, in this case, I have seen pictures of that facility, but these other ones, I haven't seen pictures of the facility, so I'm not gonna name names. But I think that most people start in animals because they have an actual passion for animals. That's why I got started in this. When I was a kid, all I watched were animal shows. That is literally it. It was Discovery Channel, Animal Planet, that's it. Now I make a living through reptiles, through animals, which is great and what I've always wanted to do, but I'll tell you what, I could make a heck of a lot more money if I did sensational videos about me getting bit by snakes. This is a dangerous snake. Stuff like that. If you've never noticed, I've never ever been bitten by a snake ever on camera. I get bit by snakes all the time, but I don't show it because I don't want snakes to be seen as monsters, as something that can hurt you, because that's not what they are. They're loving creatures who want love or want to be left alone, deserve love, I should say. So how does it happen, Adam? Get to the freaking point. I think that you have a passion for animals and then you go down a rabbit hole into making money, and eventually animals used to be here and money used to be here, and it goes like this. Because this can be lucrative. If you're breeding things that are world's first or just have a ton of genes and people will pay, right? The market will bear a high price, you can make a lot of money. If you are making lots of money on social media, right? If you're making $1 million plus on Facebook by putting out videos of you getting bit by snakes, pissing off snakes, overbreeding huge snakes, then yes, of course you're going to continue to do those things even though you know that is irresponsible to do it. And by you, I mean 1% of you, because I'm sure all of you who are watching this are not these people. There is a small group of people, and I want to say this, the majority of the reptile community are loving, beautiful people. I've met almost everybody in this industry. I've met maybe a handful of people that I wouldn't endorse the way they keep reptiles. Most people, the way they keep reptiles, I love and I would show on my own channel. And I try to adopt the best ways too. But there is a point where you get in over your head and you need to do something. And I was getting to that point too. I've never got to the point where I was neglecting or abusing animals. I don't have dead animals piling up or anything like that. But I have to hire somebody. I had to hire somebody in February. I brought on a zookeeper. I feel very lucky that I'm in a position where I get to do that and get to hire someone to help me. I feel so blessed that I don't have to do everything myself anymore, and I can continue my passion and have a little bit more time for other things like creating enclosures rather than spending every waking second on the upkeep. And I think that's what happens. People get in over their heads, they get burnt out, and now you don't have the time and energy to sell the animals. Well, you do. You have to stay up and skip meals and whatever else. But if you really get down into it, that's what's going to happen. What I recommend is before you get to that point, if you are already thinking, I gotta go feed ball pythons today. Really? Oh, pro tip. If you ever want to know what time the service guy that you call is going to show up when he gives you an 8-hour window, it's immediately when you sit down to film a video. So it's just like the bat signal to service people. Anyway, if you're ever thinking it's more of a chore and you're not getting as much out of it in terms of enjoyment, it's time to scale down the collection immediately. Who does this happen to? Well, it happens to people who are making money the most part from what I see. So if you're making money from animals, then all of a sudden there's less of a deterrent to get rid of animals or scale down collection. For me, truthfully, I make way more money doing this, talking to this camera, editing the videos and posting them than I do on breeding. So if I ever got to a point where I needed to scale down animals, it would suck because I have this thing where I build an attachment to all of them, even though there's a lot. But would it hurt my wallet? Not really. I could get rid, I would say that 80% of these animals have never made me a dime, not one dime other than featuring them in videos. If you're a breeding operation, you do need them to make money. And that's the thing, if you get it over your head, now all of a sudden you can't just get rid of them because now your monthly nut is in peril. And that is who it happens to, I think, most of the time. And of course, there's hoarding situations and things like that. But again, this is just such a small subsection of people. Most people don't abuse animals, and we're talking about things where it creeps up on you and then you can correct. So could this happen to you? Well, if we're talking about it creeping up on you and you becoming an animal abuser without you knowing, well, maybe sure, but even then, I think that I'm not like the smartest person or most capable person, or like, I don't think I'm special in any way. I think I'm very average in most of those things. And even I can see, hey, Adam, you're getting too many things. You have too many different species. You're not able to really do anything besides animal care. All your animals are taken care of, but why are you saying no to your friends asking you to dinner? You can't join that dodgeball team, like stuff like that. So if that's you, then no, you're not gonna become an animal abuser because you're gonna put the animals first. However, if you are the type of person, I'll feed the retics next weekend. I'll feed the ball pythons, and then it's gone like 6 weeks, then yeah, you're the type of person that's gonna happen to. And I'm saying, of course, there's mental health issues and whatever else. I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody, and we're getting to the Slithers thing in a second, but yeah, it could happen to somebody. It's just you have to stop it first, and there is no mental health condition or excuse on this planet. Those things are different, by the way, but there's no reason or excuse on this planet that is acceptable to become that. So let's just get to the Slithers thing. If you don't know, there was a corporation, Slithers Incorporated, I think they're called. Anyway, they got busted. An older employee took pictures. We're talking about exotic cats that are dead, retics that are dead. Reticulated pythons are the longest snake in the world, by the way. And I know some of these are super dwarfs, so they're smaller, but like a 12-foot snake in a 28-quart container, that type of thing. Animals that are literally rotting, like you can see bones, they've been there for so long, decomposing. The most horrific, disgusting enclosures that I've ever seen. Feces just piled up, no water. Retics do this thing where they rub sometimes. Their faces are basically balloons because they've been rubbing so much. And generally they rub because they don't want to be in filth, or the enclosure is too small. So this Samson dude was making tons and tons of money on breeding, right? That's why he was doing it. And then his wife, I think, Cass, she makes a bunch of money off social media. So I'm not gonna personally attack them because I don't really know either of them. I haven't met one of them. And I think it's great that they were outed, but this isn't supposed to be a bashing them. I mean, the point is, how can we prevent this from happening to other people? Well, if you work for people like this, notify somebody. Tell them, show them the pictures. I don't know these people, but if I had an animal in subpar condition and I walk by it every day and I get used to it, and someone took a picture and said, hey, what's this look like? I don't know if I could live with myself. I would have to change immediately. I don't know. It's hard to wrap your head around it when you're not that type of person, and I know most of you aren't, but we need to do something to make sure that people like this are outed before that many animals die. That's what this video is about, to shed light on animal abuse as a whole, how it happens, why it happens, who it happens to, and of course, maybe just a little bit of shame to the disgusting people who did that to all those animals. Feel free to join the Facebook group. I'm not gonna show the pictures here. They're too graphic. This is a family-friendly channel. Lastly, how to prevent this? Just keep your head above water. Really take an option to look at yourself and your collection. Really look at everything. Are animals losing weight? Are animals dying? You know, Like, do you feel sick when you have to, oh, I gotta go do this? And I'm trying to be as lenient as possible, as nice as possible, but at the end of the day, there is zero excuse for animal abuse. I do not condone it. And if you ever see anything on this channel or anyone else where you have questions, hey, you know, why is this? Feel free to ask. Don't go down somebody's throat unless it's obvious, right? If you see an animal so emaciated it's gonna die tomorrow, has no energy, different. Jumping down people's throats is not the right way to go about things. That's it. This was long-winded. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts. Please, I can't wait to hear all about it. As always, a special thanks if you hit like and subscribe. And the Patreon supporters, you guys, the bee's knees, the cat's pajamas, thank you so much for what you do. You guys get videos early, discounts on merch, all that and more, plus one-on-ones and extra. Anyway, for as little as $1 a month, there's a link in the description. And that's it. Because I do videos on Mondays and Thursdays, that means I'll see you in the next one.